Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the topic Instinct to Education and Nation Specific Challenges. What challenges the curriculum makers are facing while they are implementing the curriculum means the focus of the nation when they are making the curriculum, how it should be, what are the challenges that should be included while they are framing the curriculum. Now, learning objectives, the students will able to know the concept of instinct to education. What is the meaning of instinct to education? Understand the meaning of curriculum implementation. What is the meaning of curriculum implementation? Meaning of problem. What do you mean by the problem or the concept of problem? Understanding the nation specific challenges. What are the nation specific challenges that should be keep in mind of the curriculum makers while they are framing for curriculum for our country? Now, leadership development in India, an important RUSA priority. Now, what do you mean by RUSA? RUSA is a Rashtriya Uchitar Shiksha Abhiyan. It's a centrally sponsored scheme in 2013, and the aim of that scheme is to provide strategic funding to eligible state higher education institutions. Means they will work on finding that what are those institutions which are giving quality education to the students, and on the basis of that these institutions are giving or qualitative education to the students, they will give financial assistance to those institutions. A large part of RUSA success will depend on leaders. Now, what they are saying that the Rashtriya Uchitar Shiksha Abhiyan, they are saying that the large percentage of a success of any institutions will depend on the leaders, how the leaders are working. RUSA financing plus governance equals to quality means what he is saying that the quality of an education institution will depend on the finance which he is getting and the finance governance means the rule and regulations by the governments on the universities or the institutions. Good leader equals to improve governance. If there is a good leader, then governance will definitely improve. Means for improvement in the governance, we need good leaders. Plus strategic, what techniques, what strategic he has decided for the improvement of the quality of education. Improve resource generation, how the resources that has been in the in the department, in the universities, in the institution, how they can be improved, so that those resources are very important. Now, good quality leaders can transform institutions that is not performing well. Means we need good leaders, and only the good leaders can make a transformation in the institutions that are also not running well. Those who are not performing well, if we want to change the performance of those institutions, we need good leaders, and that is very important. Prevalent leadership deficient will hinder achievement of user goals. Now, what they are saying, if we are not having a leaders that are sufficient, that are not good, so the achievements or the aim of Rashtriya Uchitar Shiksha Abhiyan will not be achieved. Now, for achievement of those aims, the goals, we need improvement in the leaders and improvement in the institutions. Prevalent leadership defects will hinder achievement of RUSA. Now, what they are saying, if these type of leaders will work, then we will not able to achieve the goals and aims which we have decided. And improvement of institution, and in the second way, the improvement of institutions will not be done. Therefore, developing higher education leadership is a core RUSA priority. Now, why they are working on which area? They want higher leadership, higher education leadership should be improved, and this is the main focus area of their priority and fundamental to its success, and they are working on this area. Leadership development projects under RUSA. Now, what projects they have started so that leaders, good leaders can be made, and the aim of rusa will be achieved. Means they are working, they are developing, they are developing the projects which are working on developing a good leader among a person. Development of managerial skills means how he should manage all the things. This skill is tried to be developed. That are relevant to all administrative levels. That managerial skill is required at all administrative level. Professionalizing academic administration and building capacity relevant to efficient management and strategic planning. Develop skill in utilizing institutional research in planning and decision making. Now, with these projects, we are trying to develop different qualities in the leader. Now, we are focusing on utilizing institutional research in planning. Means all the resources that are available in the institution, we should try to use or maximize the use of those resources so that research should increase. The universities or the institutions should be research oriented and work in the field of innovation. Leadership development projects under RUSA. Now, what are the leadership development projects that are be taken by them? Develop leadership skills of incumbent leaders and potential leaders. We want to develop a qualitative leader. Enhance leadership and management skill of existing functionaries. Now, enhance leadership, we have to work in that area, that skills should be developed in every leader. If the skills will be developed in every leader, then improvement of the institution is sure, and we will able to achieve our goal of higher education. Leadership pipeline groom potential leaders. Now, this is important to develop the leadership qualities in the leaders. Build leadership skills of leaders of Nescetic institutions crucial for benchmarking of standards and academic growth. Means these type of we can standard, we can make a standard that this should be achieved, that these academic growth should be achieved by the institution, and for that this skill of leaders should be there in the leaders. Institutional system whereby good leaders and meriting persons are given their dues. Means those persons who are having the qualities and those persons who are having the good leadership qualities, they should given recognition at the time of we are saying about the institutional system. In summary, create a pool of good leaders. No, we are not saying that we need only a one leader and our focus should be developing only a one leader. No, we want a number of leaders in a institution. Important tasks of leaders under RUSA. Planning, preparation of institutional plan. Now we have to make an institution plan. Now what that institutional plan, how the institution will grow, how what teaching methods will be adopted, what strategies will be used to use the available resources in the institutions. That is the institutional planning. Means if there is a good leader, then he will work on the preparation of institutional plan. Lead research improvement and innovation, and our research work should be such that it will lead to the improvement and innovation in the field. Faculty improvement, if the leaders will be improved, quality education will be improved, then the faculty improvement will also be there. Supervise and documentation and monitor institutional quality, the importance of institutional research. Now what is that? Supervisors, supervise and documentation. Now everything should be documentized and supervision should be done whether the work has been done in that area uh, in which we have planned or not, if the working of the institution is going according to a plan or not, and monitor institutional quality, and that is important. It is not that the planning has been made, we have to monitor whether all these things are going according to a plan or not. If it's not going according to a plan, then we have to change. a leader, because that leader is not able to implement the planning which we have made for the betterment or the qualitative improvement in the education. The importance of institutional research. Now, what is that? That every institution of higher education should work in the field of research, innovation in the research. Every institution should work for the improvement of research. Every institution should be research oriented, means they will improve the quality of research and they work in the field of research. They will facilitate the researchers in that field. Strategic data-based decision making. Now we have the power to take the decision on the time, making best use of increased institutional autonomy. Now, in increased institutional autonomy means that the role of the government should be become less. If the quality of the institution will improve, that the faculty is doing very well, leaders are doing very well, then what will happen? It will definitely increase the institutional autonomy of any particular institution. Strategic resource generation, team building. Now we have to work that in that area, the leader should work in that area, that our team should be built, means there should not be any rift competition among the members of the team, but they should work cooperatively, collaboratively to achieve the aims and goals. Sizing opportunities and planning for long-term growth, means we have to make the opportunities how can we achieve these aims and objectives. Now, not only we should prepare a short-term aims and objectives, we should also plan for achieving the long-term growth and seizing opportunity. And we have to decide what opportunities should come in front of us, and that basis we can increase our institution, our organization, infrastructure, or the quality of the teaching learning process. Important task of leaders: establishing efficient and transparent institutional governance and administration. Now, transparency is very much needed if we want to run a institution. If transparency will be done there in an institution, in the administration, and in the governance, that means every individual will have a positive attitude towards that institution, and all will work in the qualitative improvement of that institution. Effective recruitment of teachers and staff. Now we are saying that our institutions are running shortage of teachers and staff, and what is that? We need a policy so that effective teachers can be employed in any institution and organization. Merit and excellence should be the only consideration. Now, what should be we should consider while the giving appointments to the teacher and staff members, that they should have a qualitative education. If they have the qualitative education, then only they will be able to give the qualitative education to the students. Create enabling environment for excellent ideas and functioning. And now the leaders should work in that field, that we should create an environment so that every individual who is even in the institution is free to give his ideas, and the ideas which I think that these are the excellent ideas, I should make efforts to implement those ideas and functions that has been given. Abjure patronage favoritism. Groom future leaders. Now we have to work in that area, that future leaders should also be ready. Establish and include a culture of accountability. Now every individual that is working in that institution should be accountable to his or her work. Promoting and guiding excellence in teaching and research. Now, promoting and guiding excellence in teaching and research means institutions should work in that area, that every teacher should be work in the field of research, means they should facilitate and motivate every teacher to work in the field of research, and they should promote the research in the field for the teachers. They should give some incentives if those teachers who are working in the area of teaching and research and the innovations. Now the curriculum implementation. Now what do you mean by curriculum implementation? Is a network of varying activities, means various type of activities will be undertaken when we are talking about the curriculum implementation involved in translating curriculum design into classroom activities. Now what is that? We have planned, we have designed that this should be the curriculum, but the major focus is to translate those curriculum designs into the classroom activities. If the curriculum maker has designed some think that this thing should be implemented in that way, but if we are not translate those activities in the classrooms, then the objectives and goals of curriculum will not be achieved. Into classroom activities and changing people attitude to accept. Now attitude, people attitude should adapt, that curriculum has to be changed, there should be improvement in the curriculum from time to time. If I had if I as a teacher do have a negative attitude for the curriculum implementations and the new innovations that has been added in the curriculum, then what will happen? Then I will not able to work in the direction to for the globalization, to make our students make a better individual. So changing people attitude is must when we are talking about the curriculum implementation. Changing people attitude to accept. Now they should accept that the curriculum should be changed. The curriculum will undergo changes from time to time and participate in these activities. And what we have to participate in those activities which are undertaken by the curriculum makers to transform the curriculum. We cannot be aside from the changes that has been included, and we should be participated. We should be cooperatively engaged in those activities which who are working for the curriculum implementation and curriculum changes. Curriculum implementation according to Apollo. Now this definition was given by Apollo. Implementation is the process of making something active or effective. Now what is implementation? It's a process which is making something, means which is making anything which we have implemented attractive or effective, means the use of that thing will increase. Now, definition of problem. Now, what do you mean by problem? Problem is a question raised for inquiry, to know something, to gain the new knowledge related to that, consideration or solution, or we want to find a solution related to it. A problem is a situation that is unsatisfactory and causes difficulties for people. Now, a problem is a situation, it's a type of condition or a situation that is not satisfactory, and everyone works in the field to solve that problem, then only the conditions will be satisfactory for them and causes difficulty for people. If the condition will remain so that the people those who are involved are unsatisfactory with the situation, then what will happen? This will increase difficulties for people, they don't want to work in that area. Now nation specific challenges means what are the challenges which a curriculum maker is facing when he is trying to prepare a curriculum related to a specific nation. For example, what challenges a curriculum maker from Indian community will face when he is trying to make frame a curriculum for India. Now, the government of India has formulated certain principles to promote the development of education in the country. Now, what is that? That the government of India has designed, prepared some principles, and on those principles only we will work so that the development of education can be possible in our country. These principles are free and compulsory education. Now, the first principle is that free and compulsory education to every individual, to every child who is up to the age of 14. We our institution constitution has decided that every child who has attained the age of 14 will be given free and compulsory education. Now according to Indian constitution, uh, education should be free and compulsory up to the age of 14, means every child who is up to the age of 14 will have free and compulsory education. Steps should be taken to ensure that the child enrolled in the school. Now what is important, it's that the constitution had made some principles. The constitution has made a rule that every child will get free and compulsory education up to the age of 14, but we have to work in that area, that maximum students should be enrolled in the school. And not only the enrollment of the student is necessary, the other thing which is very necessary is to retain those students in the schools. At that, I have enrolled myself in the school, but I will not able to continue my education, then again we are not able to achieve our aim or goal of attaining free and compulsory education. Schools should successfully complete the course. Now that is important. Not only the enrollment is important, but also the retention of the students in the school is equally important, so that every child that has got admission in the school should successfully complete the course in which he has taken the admission. Now, education of teachers. Why it is important to educate the teacher? Because we are working on the quality of education. We are focusing that the improvement should be there in the delivery of the delivery of the teachers, and then only the quality of education will be improved. The teacher is the most important person to determine the quality of education in the country. Why? Because it is the only the teacher who is giving the education to the child. She should be honored in society. Everyone should respect the teacher. Her emoluments and services standard should be increased. Now, their finances, the money or the salary they are receiving, and the services standard should be increased with due regard to her responsibilities. Why they should be increased? Because we know that their responsibility is very much. And qualifications, proper attention should be given to the quality teacher education. Now we should work on giving the qualitative education to the teachers, then only that qualitative education will be transferred to our students. They should also get academic freedom to write, to study, and to speak on national and international issues. Now, what is that? We are saying that they should be given freedom to write, that they are free to write anything, and they are free to study anything and speak on any national and international issue which is prevailing in the society at that time. The Constitution of India, Article 19, mention freedom of expression for all. Now, why they are saying that the freedom of expression should be there for a teacher? Because our Article 19 focuses that freedom of expression should be there for all. Now, language development. What our country is doing for the language development. The policy had also emphasized on the development of Indian as well as foreign languages in the country. Now, our institution, our curriculum makers are making efforts so that every Indian language as well as a foreign language can be easily developed in our country. The three language formula should be introduced, and that's why we are saying that the three language formula should be introduced in our country, in which a student at the secondary level, when he is learning at the 10th level, should know Hindi, English, and a regional language of his state. The language Sanskrit has been included as an optional subject at the secondary level, and the Sanskrit language should be included as the optional subject. Means the student has a choice whether to opt for that subject or not. Now, educational opportunities for all means there should not be any type of discrimination among any individual regarding the opportunity of education. Means every individual should have equal opportunity for getting the education. Under this policy, every child of the country should get education. It is that every child who is in our country should get the education, irrespective of caste, religion, region, or whatever the case may be. Special emphasis should be given to backward classes. Means those students who are coming from the backward classes, we should make efforts to make them educate. Minority children, those who are coming from the minority class, girls and physically challenged children to avail the education policies. Girls and the children with special needs or are should be given equal opportunity for education. Uniform education structure. The structure of education should be uniform throughout the country. Means it should be same throughout the country. It should be 10 plus 2 plus 3 pattern from higher secondary to college level. Now, as per the recommendation of National New Education Policy, that pattern will also change. It should be 10 plus 2 plus 3 pattern from higher secondary to college level. This should be the pattern and it should be followed throughout the country. During the course of study, each student should get to play sports and games. It means that the co-curricular activities should also be included when we are talking about the new education or the new uniform structure of our education system. They should also develop the quality of work experiences, means learning by doing, and should participate in programs related to national construction and community services. We should encourage students so that they should participate in national construction, means anything which is related to the construction of nation, and community services and related to the community work. They should be related or should be included in the community services also. To review the progress, whether what we have designed, what we have planned, whether we want, whether we achieved that or not, means whether our planning has been successful or not. The government should review the progress of education in the country from time to time. Mean the government will work in that area, that he will review the progress of education in a country, whether the progress of education is doing or not, whether which we have planned, the progress has been done in that way or not, and should present guidelines for its future development. If the reviewing work will not be done, then the education cannot be developed. It will stand at a point. On the basis of reviews, we will able to present guidelines for its future development. These are and there are many of other important aspects can be discussed about in this policy. Now we can discuss anything which can be related to the field of education and work and will work in the development and the qualitative improvement of the education, which provide a good and strong basis for the education system. The concept of common school can be found at a number of places in the report of Kothari Commission. Now, Kothari Commission has worked in that area. The vision of the nation system of education that incorporates common school is elaborated in the well-known section 1.36 of the report. How the school should work. Too long to produce here in full. A summary can, however, be found at the section 1.38. Means the full detailing of that is impossible. So we are giving just a summarized way what the policy says. If the education system is to become a powerful instrument of national development, if we are working that the education system of a country work in that area, that every instrument of nation will develop in general and social and national integration. In particular, we must move towards the goal of common school system of public education which are based on human right perspective, which will be open to all children, means every individual has given equal opportunity to get the enrollment in that school, irrespective of caste, creed, community, religion, economic condition, or social status. Where access to good education will depend not on wealth or class but on the talent. Now, we should try to give education in such a way that every individual has equal right to get the education, and where access to education will not depend on the will, that only those students will get the admission there, those who have a lot of amount of money with them, which will maintain adequate standards in all schools and provide at least a reasonable proportion of quality institution in which no tuition fee will be charged, means the education will be free, which would meet the needs of the average parents, and where the average parents means those who are earning not that much amount of money and their salary is approximately average, they also we should meet the needs of those parents also. Measures to give to the teacher the status he needs and deserve to help him to do his duties at the highest possible level of performance means we should give the teachers a status in the society which implies a suitable salary should be there. In the prevailing economic conditions will not only meet his economic needs, but he commencement with his professional status and powerful enough to attract and retain talent in the profession. Now, what they are saying, if the salary will increase, then what will happen? That this some person join this profession, but due to the lack of salary, they drop this profession and join the other profession. So they are saying that situation should be changed, and we should make such efforts that the talent should be retained in this profession only. The evaluation of a system of a teacher preparation that would help the teacher develop skills and values as well as to make his teaching and efforts at character development effective and go far to indicate the broad parameters of a code of conduct which would motivate and help the teacher and give of his best in the performance of his duties and to point out other conditions that are necessary for a code effective enforcement means the teacher should work in these areas. The overall task before the National Knowledge Commission is to take steps that will give India the knowledge edge in the coming decades. Means our education system should be improved. That is to ensure that our country become a leader in the creation, application, and dissemination of knowledge. And we want our country to become a leader in the field of knowledge where he is creating the knowledge, applying the knowledge, and dissemination of knowledge is there. NKFC believes that knowledge concepts are organized, distributed, and transmitted through the education system. Education is a potent force for any developing state. Means education plays a very important role in the development of any country or a state. It encourages individuals to think independently. Means he is not dependent on others' thinking. Make better informed decisions. He can take decisions keep abreast of important issues and trends at the local and national levels. He can have the knowledge of all the important issues that are discussing or trending at the local and the national level. Question existing social economic arrangements in a manner that leads to innovation, change, and development. A good education system relies largely on a common complex interference of human resources, how these human resources can be interfered, pedagogic method, what pedagogic methods have been used, curricula and infrastructure and academic standard, what academic standards we want to achieve. These are all important variables at every level and every field of education. The concept of common schools can be found at a number of places in the report of the Kothari Commission, which will work on the qualitative education, uniform education, the vision of the national system of education that incorporates common in school is elaborated in the section of the delay. If the education system is to become a powerful instrument of national development in general and social and national integration in particular, we must move toward the goal of a common school system of public education which are based on human rights perspective. Now, if we want our nation to be developed, when our and that development can be possible only through through education. So we should work towards the goal of a common school system of public education, where education will be given on the basis of human rights, which will open to all children. Means any individual, any child has the right to get the admission in those schools, where access to good will depend not on both, where every individual has the right to get the admission, maintain adequate standard on all schools and provided at least a reasonable quality institutions means a qualitative institution infrastructure will be provided in which no tuition will be charged, no fees will be charged, which would meet the need of average parents, and every parent can help the child to be get admitted and enrolled in that school. Now, in this particular topic, we have understood the meaning and concept of national challenges which are faced by the curriculum makers. Uh, For further reading on today's topic, you can refer these references. Now, MCQs. Now, let us discuss some MCQs based on the topic which we have discussed today. As MCQs are the best tools to measure the most important educational outcomes. Now, the first one is, who stated that is a network of varying activities involved in translating curriculum designs into classroom activities and changing people attitude to accept and participate in these activities. Now, who has given this definition? Now, students, you have to give the correct answer from the above choices. The first one is A. Okolo, B. Bacon, C. Jackson, or the D. Alexander. Yes, now the correct answer is option A, and that is Okelo. Now, the second one. Dash is a question raised for inquiry, consideration, or solution. Now, options are A. Problem, B. Solution, C. Prediction, or the D. Verification. Now, which is that which raise a question for inquiry to get some new knowledge, gain some information, consideration, or solution? Now, the correct answer is option A, and that is problem. A problem is a situation that is unsatisfactory and causes difficulties for whom it causes the difficulties. A. People, B. Group, C. Individual, or the D. Team. These are the options, and you have to select the correct option. And the correct option is people. Means a problem is a situation that is unsatisfactory. Means people are not satisfied with this situation, and that situation is causes difficulties for them. The structure of dash should be uniform throughout the country. Whose structure should be same throughout the country? Now the options are A. Education, B. Leader, C. Formal, or the D. Learner. Now the structure of what? Now the yes, you have to select the correct answer from the given choices, and the correct option is option A, and that is education. Means the structure of education should be uniform throughout the country. Fifth, dash for all policy, every child of the country should get education. Means every child should have the right to get the education, irrespective of caste, from which caste he has come, religion, region, or whatever the case may be. Options are A. Educational opportunity, B. Education, C. Opportunity, and the D. None of the above given choices. Now you have to select the correct answer. Now the correct answer is option A, that is educational opportunity. Means education opportunity is a policy which is framed by our country so that every child of the country get education irrespective of any discrimination that is being made on the basis of caste, religion, region, or whatever the case may be. Now, sixth one, education of dash. All the Constitution of India, Article 19, mention freedom of expression for all. Now, education of what is needed? Now, these are the options. The A1 is teachers, B leaders, C followers, or the D students. Now you have to select the correct answer from the given choices, and now the correct answer is option A, and that is teacher. Means every teacher should be given the right to express on any platform related to any issue which is related to either to our nation or to international. The three dash should be introduced. What should be introduced? In which a student at the secondary level, in which a student who is studying at the secondary level should know Hindi, English, and the regional language of his state. Means he should be knowing three languages at the level when he studied at the secondary level. Now, The options are A. Language formula. B. It's a formula. C. Learning formula. Or the D. Objectives. Now, what should be the correct answer? Now, you have to select the correct answer from the choices. And now, the correct answer is option A. That is a language formula should be introduced in our country at the secondary level so that every student who is studying at that level should know three languages, and that are Hindi, English, and one regional language of a state. Now, the eighth one, the structure of education should be dash throughout the country. Now, how should be the structure of education? Now, the options are A. Uniform, B. Goals, C. Orientation, or the D. Objectives. Now, you have to select the correct answer from the given choices. Yes, students. Now, the correct answer is option A. That is uniform. Means the structure of education should be uniform throughout the country. Now the ninth one. A good education system relies largely on a dash interference of human resources, how human resources should be used, pedagogical methods, which pedagogical methods should be employed, curriculum, infrastructure, and the academic standards. Now the options are A. Complex, B. Simple, C. Large, or the D1 group. Now you have to select the correct answer from the given choices. Now a good education system relies largely on a dash. Now yes students, now the correct answer is option A, that is a complex. Means a good education system relies largely on a complex interference of human resources, pedagogy method, curriculum, infrastructure, and academic standards. Now, the concept of commission common school can be found at a number of places in the report of the Kothari Commission. Now, the options are Kothari Commission, Davis Commission, Paul Commission, or the Newman Commission. So, the correct answer is option A, that is the Kothari Commission. The government should dash the progress of education in the country from time to time and should present guidelines for its future development. Now, what is that? What should the government should do for the progress of education in any country? Now, the options are A. Review, B. First, C. Second, or the D. It should give some opinion. Now, the correct answer is review. Means the government should review the progress of education in the country from time to time so that on the basis of that review he can make some guidelines for the future development of education. Now, thank you, students. Thank you, students. With this particular narration, you understand that what are the challenges which are faced by the curriculum makers while framing the curriculum. First thing. Second thing, what are the policies which are decided by the country so that we can develop our education system, our quality of education can be improved. Now, so in the next lecture, we will focus on monitoring of the curriculum, how the monitoring of the curriculum should be done, and what is the need of monitoring of the curriculum. Is there any particular need of monitoring it? We will discuss in the next class. Thank you so much.